18 players, Joe Rockey with the Pittsburgh Syndicate coming back at you. In today's episode, we're going to be addressing one of the major three problems that the Steelers need to overcome to become a Super Bowl contender again. And in this episode, it's going to be the lack of rhythm that the Pittsburgh Steelers had last year. Last year, the Pittsburgh Steelers had a tremendous problem getting the first down. So the 3 and out rate was horrible. So how do we fix that? Well, let's dive into some of the exact metrics that the Steelers put themselves in that hurt themselves getting the first downs. First and foremost, the Pittsburgh Steelers ran the ball into the most 8-man boxes in the NFL last year. That is 100% a coaching solution. And it's a coaching solution upon two phases. The first phase is this. They flat out did not have or allow, depending on how you want to look at it, their quarterbacks to run an audible system. Mitch Trubisky, who is a veteran, he's been around the league, obviously both are first-round picks, they did not allow to run audibles, and all he did was hand the ball off in 8-man fronts. Now, granted, the Pittsburgh Steelers were the second best offense per play running in 8-man fronts, but that does not make it acceptable. And there's two options to fix this. First, as I said, allow your quarterback to run an audible. He sees people come in front, throw the ball downfield. And that leads into the second option. The distance per play that Kenny Pickett threw the ball was only 7.3 yards on average. So that's an average on. That counts all the deep attempts, even the incomplete ones, that went out of bounds going downfield. The offense fundamentally does not push the ball far enough downfield in the passing game to allow the ball to move. Now, as you guys are watching the channel here, you're going to be seeing all of the highlight shows from last year coming out. We're going to get to Deontay Johnson, since I'm going to do the individual players here last. And I'm about to tell you something that you'll never be able to unsee, but is the staple of this problem. Deontay Johnson's over 90% of his plays end with the clock stopping, meaning that he either stepped out of bounds or it was an incomplete pass. Said another way, the man does not fight for extra yards. He has one of the absolute lowest rates of yards after the catch of any receiver getting over 100 targets in the NFL. Which says another way, he catches the ball, he goes out of bounds, he does nothing else with it. And it's going to stand out like a sore thumb with this roster. It stood out last year because the other main ball carriers or target recipients on this team, Pickens, Freiermuth, Najee, all fight continuously. Warren is a little itty-bitty man who runs like a Napoleon complex. He wants to run through people. It's amazing to watch. It's not good for his career, but it's amazing to watch. And the point is, you can't be giving the ball to a guy who does not fight for yardage as your primary pass receiver. So one of two things need to change. Either he needs to start fighting for yardage, being Deontay Johnson, or they need to start throwing the ball further downfield to Deontay, so if he steps out of bounds, it's an automatic first down. He's already 10 yards past the sticks. Or you need to stop throwing Deontay Johnson the ball as much. And when we look at the aggregate of how we solve this original problem we're trying to solve here, get the first down. The reality on the field was defenses put players in the box because they knew that the Pittsburgh Steelers offense was incredibly predictable. Like, incredibly predictable. And as you watch the highlight shows on the individual players, you will notice they almost all catch the ball relatively in the same spot, with the exception being hurry-up offense at the end of a fourth quarter. The rest of them, Freiermuth is going to catch the ball on the seams that he started the play on, and he's going to be between 15 and 20 yards downfield. Pickens is going to catch the ball on the right-hand side outside of the numbers. Johnson will do the exact same thing on the other side of the field. The difference is Johnson will step out of bounds immediately and Pickens will keep moving downfield. This is an incredibly predictable offense. That is the core problem of fixing the rhythm. You allow the quarterback to change the play so he doesn't need to run into a box. You have the throws go downfield and you vary the route combinations instead of running the same result patterns over and over again. And this is not unique to me saying this, watch this on film. We've had 4 defensive backs in our division say this last year. This is a common trend and problem with the team. And quite frankly, it's amazing they're winning with this problem. If you did this with essentially any other skill set, you'd be on fire losing. Even Alabama couldn't get away with this. And that is a testament to the talent that has been accumulated on this roster. But it's still playing in hard mode completely unnecessarily. This offense needs to become more diverse and more unpredictable. And that's the thing. And running jet sweeps is not the answer to that. Because if you look at the ratio of whoever your returner is for the game, of him being on the field offensively, he gets the ball over 5 out of 8 times. Which means for the 3 plays a game he's on the field offensively, he's getting the ball 2 of them. It's a giant key that our team does over and over again, and it is a major reason why we're not getting into rhythm offensively. Again, when the other team knows what you're going to do, you can win the Super Bowl. The Patriots have proven this. We are doing this to ourselves, making it easier to the other team. And it is repeatedly and constant. That being said, on hard mode, this team got better as the year went on without the intellectual improvement. So the number one hope is that's going to change. And there becomes intellectual improvement. The argument could be made, first-year quarterback, regardless of Trubisky or Kenny, we wanted to dumb it down and keep it simple. That might be an excuse for September. It's not valid in December after we've been working on this for 4 months. But that's the argument that they had for the whole year. So as we look at the team overall, first problem, they need to get the first down if they're going to win the Super Bowl. Do they have the capability of doing this? Absolutely. The offensive line showed that they can run the ball incredibly well in an 8-man box. That is the hard mode version of running. They were the second best in the NFL at it. But we can avoid that. We can do audibles where we throw the ball downfield. And this is the key. Kenny's pass per attempt, not per completion, but per attempt of air yardage, how far downfield is the receiver actually catching the football, has to be greater than 11 yards. If you put him into that status, our offense will automatically shift into a situation where they can't have 7 men in the box. And for perspective, it's not an incredibly hard number. This is where Dallas was. And if you look at the difference between the Cowboys' personnel package versus the Steelers' personnel package, it's not dramatically different off the initial. Pickens and Lamb are very comparable in their skill set and their talent level. Najee and the running back room in Dallas, likewise. We have a better tight end. We have a better number 2 in Deontay versus what they were putting out there last year. And the offensive lines are not that much different. And people don't want to recognize that the Steelers' offensive line is that good, but it's true. The Cowboys have one of the best offense in the NFL last year. One major change. They threw the ball further downfield. Sure, they had more turnovers, but they also had vastly more points. And we need to make a decision overall as a team. Are we going to live in our fears and not allow Kenny to turn the ball over? Or are we going to let him drive the sports car and take this thing in the end zone? Let Kenny throw the ball downfield, allow there to be audibles, and push the football, especially to George Pickens. The boxes will become lighter, and Najee's run per carries, which remember, he ended the year from the bye on with 4.1 yards per carry. That will jump up. And when you're talking about a running back getting 4.5 yards per carry or greater, you're talking about a league MVP quality, like LaDainian Tomlinson level running the ball. That's Henry style. And this is where fixing and helping your team can do that. Allow Kenny to work, put the receivers further downfield. These are all things that we are capable of doing, and we held ourselves back from. Every report is Kenny's grasping the offense. The question is, was the offense designed to work or not? Is it still predictable, or is it going to grow? And as a result of its growth, will we be bringing it back the next Lombardi Trophy?